Hi guys, it's LaJoyce and you're here at the Joy Journey. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am going to catch you up just in case you're new to this channel about my little history. I do have a detailed video about our journey and things that we face, but if you're new, I kind of want to let you know where we're coming from before we get into today's topic. My husband and I were married at the age of 32 and had our first miscarriage at the end, nearly at the end of that year. At the age of 33, we had a second miscarriage, and 34, we had a third miscarriage. We went on to have one rainbow baby and a cherry on top at ages 37 and 39 nearly, which were great blessings in our lives. But we had to overcome endometriosis stage 3 or 4. I also had cysts in my tubes as well as cysts in the uterus. I was diagnosed with low ovarian reserve and then went on to discover an incompetent cervix after having my final miscarriage in 2016. Today, I really want to discuss what it has been like to be pregnant after 5 years, or to have been pregnant after 5 years of infertility and 5 different complications. Whew. Here we go. We're going to do this Q&A style, so I will get into questions that I've had regarding pregnancy after infertility. And the first question was, how long did you wait? How long did you wait before you started trying to conceive again? And how long did it take for you to actually conceive after your last miscarriage? That's a very common question. And actually, my OBGYN recommended that we wait at least 6 weeks before the body healed, because I did have a vaginal delivery, and just for physical things to turn around and heal, she suggested that we wait for six weeks. But she did recommend that we waited 3 months for the soul to heal, just to heal emotionally and start the healing process spiritually, because it's a long road. So of course you're not going to completely heal within the 3 months, but she felt like a 3-month period was sufficient enough to get into a better mind space, which she was absolutely right. The other thing is, because it does take cells about 3 months to replenish and to regenerate. So if you're going to make any huge changes to, say, your diet, to supplements, lifestyle changes, anything that's going to infect your body internally, you want to give it about 3 months to take effect. So I would say 3 months would be a great time to start the baby making process again, and that can be a little more for someone who might be going through extended amounts of blues or depression. And I would suggest that you seek some counseling and things like that before you determine how long you want to start again. But for me, it was 3 months, and at 3 or 4 months, we started trying again. I started doing my ovulation tests and things like that around 3 or 4 months. In fact, I think I have a clip here that I'm going to insert and just share a little bit about where my headspace was shortly after conceiving Olivia, which is my rainbow baby. Here we go. Today is quite an important day for our family. We found out a little over a week ago that we have been blessed with yet another miracle miracle pregnancy. I tell you, God is just so fabulously, wonderfully gracious and merciful. Like, I am in love with our God. I'm in love with Jesus, and I'm just so thankful and just so humble that He has given us an opportunity again to conceive again, despite all odds, despite what doctors have said, despite the fact that we've only had, no more than 3 follicles, and that's summing up both ovaries for the last couple of years. Despite the fact that my FSH is still bouncing up and down, the last reading for my FSH was like 16. My AMH was really, really low, less than 1. Despite all of that, despite the fact that I have not even seen a positive ovulation since I had Gabriella, and I've been peeing on those sticks consistently every single month, despite all of that, God said, you know what? I'm going to show you a miracle, because I'm going to take away all the doubt that it's coming from someone else, and I'm going to show you that it's just me. It is me who's granting you guys this baby, and guess what? My timing is better than your timing. The second question that I get regarding pregnancy after infertility is, well, when did you tell? And who did you tell your news to? And actually, the first person that I told, believe it or not, was not my husband. It was my OBGYN. And again, I stress that we had become friends during that time, really great friends. She was my prayer warrior, and she was my partner in crime. My husband happened to be working. He's in a job where I couldn't really pick up the phone to call him, or didn't want to disturb him at work. And so I picked up the phone and I called her and I told her, and I just kind of wanted to run over it and really have her reassure me that it was really real as well. So I told her, and then once my husband got home, I told him. I did tell him in video form just to capture it so that our unborn child would be able to see his expression when I did that. So I'll give you a snippet here, but again, you know, my husband's private, and so he does not like to be on social media much at all. So the snippet will probably be of me. So here we go. Okay, so you guys also have little angel brothers and sisters, 3 of them. Gabriella's one of them, and then there's 2 other ones that we did not get to name. So tell them, baby, like how did I tell you about our 4th pregnancy? You want to talk about this one?
Talk about which one?
The 4th pregnancy.
Oh! I didn't even notice the 4th.
I shared the news fairly early after the first trimester with my mother. I think I was probably about 13 weeks when I was 13 weeks when I shared it with her, because I tricked her to come down so that she could be there with me while my husband was working to get a cerclage. She had no idea why she was coming down, but she was going to have to kind of look over me while I was getting that procedure done, and I revealed it to her at that time. So I was right at 13 weeks, and we told our extended family and, you know, the rest of our close family around 18 weeks, and we wanted to wait until we got past the point of when we had Gabriella. We just felt more comfortable. There's no rhyme or reason to why we did that, but that's what we did, and it was so fun. We went to our hometown. It was Easter weekend, so we did a little cute presentation where we had little scrolls and we wrote little poems on them, rolled them up, put them in Easter eggs, and delivered those little Easter eggs to family and friends once we got there. And I think I have a little bit of snip of that too. So here we go. Question that I got often was, what precautions did you take once you got pregnant again, especially after having an incompetent cervix? And this, my friend, is a very compounded question. There are a lot of precautions that we took, so I'm going to try to briefly go over them for you right here. The first thing we did was actually transfer physicians. At the time of me losing Gabriella, I was with an OBGYN, but she felt it best to transfer my care over one into the main hospital that could care for any children that may have complications once born, or for more complicated pregnancies. And so I switched over to a maternal fetal medicine specialist at another hospital to care for this baby. So number one, I transferred my care over to a specialist. Because of my high risk, age, history of miscarriages, and the incompetent cervix, it was just the best thing that we could do. Secondly, once I was transferred over, I did have testing done to make sure there was no blood clotting disorders. So I did do all of the tests for blood clotting disorders, but we chose not to do the tests for chromosomal issues. We had made a decision even when we were pregnant with Gabriella that, whatever is. So we would just go forward with whatever God handed us at that point regarding chromosomal issues. So we did not do that part of the testing. The next thing I did was got on aspirin, and that was with a recommendation of my OBGYN actually. And I started taking aspirin very early on, 81 milligrams of aspirin. Some studies have shown that aspirin may play a small part in decreasing chances of preeclampsia during pregnancy, but also just in case there were anything going undiagnosed, it would not hurt to thin out the blood a little bit just to prevent another miscarriage, being that I've had 3 miscarriages in the past. So I figured it wouldn't hurt, anything at all. So I agreed. We took the aspirin every day, 81 milligrams. That was added to my pill box. The next thing we did was we went in to get the cerclage. I had a McDonald cerclage at 13 weeks of gestation. And I'm actually going to do a more detailed video about the process, getting the cerclage, having the cerclage, what I had to do differently once I got the cerclage, because there were a lot of changes that we had to make during that process. The next precaution that we made was added progesterone injections at 16 weeks of gestation. And we did this as a precautionary measure. Those that have had preterm labor in the past are definitely, we recommend progesterone injections. Now, it was kind of interesting because the way that my incompetent cervix presented last time, sometimes it's hard to tell what came first, the chicken or the egg. Did you start contracting and have preterm labor, or did your cervix open up prematurely and then you went into labor after that? So just to cover all the bases, we went ahead and started me on the progesterone injections. That's done weekly from weeks 16 all the way up to week number 37. So I did that, and I actually did that with both of my pregnancies, had cerclages with both of my pregnancies, the same type, and really the same precautions for both pregnancies in which I had 2 babies from. So so that was the next thing that I did, was the progesterone injections. Some of you may have heard me talk about my miscarriage story and really gone into detail about right before I had Gabriella, I had been having bouts of like constipation and things like that, which is very common in pregnancy in general. So we decided to take some extra precautions for that with this pregnancy. I stayed on Colace the whole entire pregnancy. I took Metamucil as well periodically, and I really amped up the water because I wanted to decrease any chances of getting constipation altogether. I made sure that I was getting lots of fiber, greens, things like that in my diet so that I would not struggle with constipation, and it worked. It really did work with this pregnancy. So I would suggest that you do that. Okay, lastly is one that some people may kind of cringe about, but it's no intercourse. Once you've gotten a cerclage, the doctor recommends no intercourse, guys. No intercourse for 9 to 10 months. You can do it. I'm not going to lie. In the second trimester, your libido likely will go up. It likely will go up, if I'm honest. But the recommendation is no intercourse. I would just talk to your doctor about any other thing. I'm just going to leave it at that. Last question is, what are the greatest things about experiencing pregnancy after infertility? And I would say hands down for me was feeling the baby move. Oh my gosh, like I loved feeling the baby move. Like that was, I guess because I missed out on that, with the previous pregnancies. I never got to the point. Well, actually, I take that back. The night that I lost Gabriella, I felt her move like for the first time. At least I realized what was happening as far as the flutters. I felt her move the night before she actually delivered. But so I cherish that to no other. So feeling the baby move, feeling the kicks, A friend of mine sent me a Doppler where I could actually listen to the heartbeat. So if I didn't feel movement, I was just very in tune with how she was doing in there. And I loved it. Like, I loved it. It was so precious and something I'll never forget. And the next greatest thing about becoming pregnant after infertility is that it forces you to slow down, to be mindful, to be present, to pay attention, to appreciate on an entire different level. Even though it was stressful combating the idea of losing my baby, it also put me in a place of such calm and such peace. And it just really transformed the type of person that I was to a whole nother level. And I really appreciate that and thank God for it. Okay, guys, well, that brings us towards the end. I hope that you have now a great understanding of what it was like for me to become pregnant after infertility. And also, I want you to know that I am here for you. I always tell you guys that I'm here for you. I'm actually in the process of developing some things to help you out. In the meantime, I am taking consults and I am doing some coaching and infertility coaching. So if you need someone to walk alongside you in this road to getting to your baby, because you will get to your baby, please DM me or email me. DM me on Instagram or email me directly at thejoyjourney216 at gmail.com. Just shoot me an email when you can, and we can chat. Also, congratulations if you're newly pregnant. Congratulations to you, sis. I'm so genuinely happy for you. Oh my goodness. So enjoy it. God bless the journey. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that someone will let you know when the next video is posted. I love you. Thank you so much. I'll be posting a new video every Thursday at 12 p.m. Hold me to it now.